All right, my man. We were just talking about the fallout since your performance and how I was saying it actually seems like the deadlift with straps got more attention than the total. And I guess you were alluding to this is probably due to the expectations. You were going to take this total world record into the 1200 kilo
Yeah,
probably
that was,
and beyond.
that was the plan. I was my total goal was 1250, and based off my training numbers, I was like very on my way to hitting that.
Mm.
And then I just messed it up towards the end, got injured. Also, probably burnt out and just messed up the whole thing. But mistakes happen. It's just one of those things.
You said in your recap that you pulled a Russ, which is hilarious. That's now
Yeah.
that's now what we call it is a Russ. But he was saying like because he was putting so much pressure on himself and really dropping the hammer in training, he left his best in the gym. Is this really what happened to you? Where you were like, because some of your training, you did like a 12-10 in the gym, and you were like hitting some huge numbers in the gym. Was it just too much
Yeah.
momentum? You like felt like sky was the limit?
Not really. I kind of had the same mindset as he did when he was prepping. It was to build confidence. And it's not something I've ever done with any of my other preps. So it was kind of weird that now that I think about it, that I had the desire to build confidence. I normally just hit the numbers that are close to the numbers that I want in competition, and then I hit the numbers that I want in competition. But for some reason, this time I was like, oh, I need to at least get close to my numbers in competition
Hmm.
so I can get a feeling for it, which was weird.
Why do you think that is? Is it because there's been so much talk about what you're going to do with that world record?
Yeah, I just think this prep, I didn't want to fail.
Hmm.
And like maybe I was more stressed about it than the other preps. And the other preps, I had like a clear goal of what I wanted to do. I'm a little bit sick, so if I sound a little bit weird, it's because
No worries. No
yeah,
worries.
like a blocked nose. But this prep, mentally, I think I was too focused on the sumo deadlift record and deadlifting 520, which is a big jump from not even deadlifting 500. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're skipping steps.
yeah. So that's probably one of the main reasons why I messed up is my focus wasn't focused on what it should be, and now I'm focused on the individual lifts for this next one. I'm gonna make sure I don't burn out for each lift leading up to the competition, and make sure I get a 9 for 9 day, unless I slip on deadlifts again. But I'll get 6 out of 6 for squats and bench on the next one.
Yeah, yeah. Set yourself up. Is it? Do you think that because every time you drop more training videos and every time you're about to compete, the expectations are getting bigger and bigger, and people are getting excited, like understandably. Somebody in sleeves going over 1,200 kilos sounds insane. It sounds crazy. And for the longest time, it was Jesus Oliveras. And then you emerge and the momentum you've built. And I mean, I don't know if you heard the last podcast when Johnny Kaufman was on. He's like, this is exciting. Like seeing somebody come along it feels like you're so far ahead of the pack in powerlifting that you have no rivals and that it's going to be for the longest time, powerlifting was a relatively small talent pool. And, we just did a podcast that I'm about to drop where since the inception of the IPF Going Classic Raw, the powerlifting participation rate has been 24x, 24 times as many people are powerlifting now than when the IPF first went raw. And that's really when there's a huge boom. So the
Yeah,
talent pool is swollen. And a lot of people, that's why we're seeing records fall so quickly, is because the talent pool is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So people hypothesize, do we have the freak athletes of the world participating even now, or are we still missing them to other sports? And in a conversation with Johnny Kaufman, and a lot of people thinking, well, Colton is one of those freak athletes that if we continue to grow for the next 5, 10 years, your numbers will probably still stand. This is some heavy, I don't know your thoughts on it, but this is
yeah.
some heavy praise and scrutiny. So maybe Are you feeling that like, geez, every time I go to the platform now, would that be why you felt the need like you're like I need to hit big numbers and start living up? Expectations are growing.
Not at all. I've never had that thought in my life.
Mm,
Um, yeah, it's pretty much just I have my own I have my own path that I'm walking, my own goals. Um, my goal is not really a total, it's to have all the all-time world records in each individual lift, like in a full meet, like the full meet all-time world records for each individual lift, and then put that into a total.
and what about that
Yeah.
total? So the total sleeve world record really isn't the overall goal.
No, it's not.
Wow,
It's just a consequence, pretty much.
really? No
Yeah.
kidding. No.
What's important to me is having the all-time world record squat in a full meet, all-time world record bench, and all-time world record deadlift in a full meet.
And when you say all-time world record, do you mean like the super heavyweight all-time biggest squat ever? Like,
Yeah, like it would be like I'm gonna bulk up and everything, and if I do things right, I think I have a chance. Like self-belief, everyone should believe in what they want to do.
mm,
Um, yeah, I want to squat 500 in sleeves. It's a big goal of mine, more than any deadlift that I would ever hit in the future. Like for me personally, hitting 500 in sleeves is like the most important thing for me.
really? Why is so? This is interesting. First off, most powerlifters, it's the opposite. Most powerlifters, the individual lifts add up to the total. It's the total really that they're shooting for. I want to get the biggest total possible. However, I get there, I would like to hit milestones with individual lifts, but the total. Whereas for yourself, you actually are like, look at the total. Obviously, yeah, by default, it'll be big, but
Yeah,
it's that squat. Like if you hit that 500 kilo squat, the total doesn't matter nearly as much to you.
nah, it doesn't matter. But with that being said, I want to hit. I don't know if it's going to be in one meet where I hit all three all-time world records, but I want to at least hold all three all-time world records, even if I do it in individual meets, like
Mm.
different meets. Yeah. I mean,
And
the total is going to be big, and there's no one that's really gonna. There's no real competition for the total. But
mm,
for me, so me personally, there's no competition for the total. But there's guys out there that have squatted more than me and benched more than me and
mm.
deadlift more than me. So in my head, I haven't reached the limits yet, and there's still limits to be broken, and those are those limits. Yeah,
That kind of makes more sense. You're right. There is nobody pushing the total world record. You're if you drop into the 1200 kilo range, that's that. Like, God bless. There's nobody who's going to be chasing you. So I
there's
guess
guys
it,
that have a chance. There are a couple guys that have a chance if they like really devoted themselves, and it's Jesus,
yeah.
Carl Covey, and Andrew House. Like those are
Hmm.
the only other guys in the world that have any sort of chance of getting 1200, in
And
my opinion.
do you feel, are you more likely to be for here on out competing in sleeves or wraps?
I'll never compete in raps again,
Okay.
just because they're irrelevant and it's not a real test of strength.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't expect you to go that far into it. I'll tell you what, it is more, it is harder to relate for a huge body of powerlifting because I know it's not the same, but IPF is sleeves and there's a lot more powerlifters under that IPF umbrella. So when they watch powerlifting, it's harder to relate like how much do wraps give you, etc. So even just the viewing public and community, they're a little more disconnected from those world records. They know it's big, they know it's impressive, but it doesn't
Yeah,
quite hit. It's not as relatable. But when you hit it in sleeves, they can take that and compare it to a Jesus Oliveras, or they know, holy shit, okay, say less. I know exactly what we're playing with.
yeah, it's like variable to the person. Like someone could get like 20 kgs out of the sleeves,
Right.
and then like out of wraps, and then like a really skilled person that has a lot of experience with wraps and they've used it for many years, they could get like 60 kgs out of wraps
Mm.
if they're using really tight wraps as well. For me personally, I could only get 40 kgs out of my wraps. And yeah, that's a very big like range of how much you can get out of them. So
Hmm.
I feel like you can never tell how strong that person is unless they do a sleeve squat.
And not only that, if you're a guy who likes chasing history and you want records, which you do, and I was saying earlier how we've seen the numbers fly up because of the amount of people participating. So the talent pool, the amount of people lifting in wraps is so much less than the amount of people lifting in sleeves. So the talent pool in history that you're going against when you go after sleeves is it's another ball game. It seems bigger, although on the untested side, there is a history, with wraps for sure.
Yeah.
But of recent years, we're kind of moving in a different direction.
Yeah, the quality of untested lifters has completely diminished. Like there's no existing tested lifters that untested lifters that can lift over 1,100 or even like 1150. I'm the only untested lifter that can go over 1150, and then there's only two others that can go over 1100.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the whole untested side of powerlifting, that's a little bit pathetic. But
It's
yeah,
it's what's tough. What's tough is when some of these untested totals are equaled to by the tested lifters, and that's
yeah,
and that's just because there's so many. So a lot, some people who are skeptical will be like, oh, that means these tested lifters are probably on gear, but they're hiding it or cheating. I pose probably not. More likely, it's just the talent pool is so much bigger on the tested side. Again, it comes down to if you have a bigger talent pool, you have a bigger net that you cast it to collect like A-level athletes. That's all it is. The bigger the net, the more people you're going to grab. But yeah, it makes it difficult. And how does that impact you and your goals? Like when you look across the untested and you see no rivals, so you really aren't concerned at all about what motivates you? Totals, titles. I mean, what title on the untested would mean something,
uh,
or is it?
yeah. You see, that's the problem. Like, there's no titles in untested powerlifting that are gonna be anywhere close to being significant um, to like IPF title. Like, because who cares about untested powerlifting anyways? Like, IPF is the mainstream powerlifting platform. So my what motivates me is I want to have the overall all-time world records, regardless of untested, tested, weight classes, anything like that. Yeah.
And you were saying in your story about the enhanced games and facing off with Hafthor. Now, while there is for sure no major head-to-heads for you in the untested, certainly not kilo for kilo. Like this isn't going to happen. A showdown that everybody would watch. That would be freaking amazing. Is if you and Hafthor went head to head, pulling in a deadlift competition. How on
Yeah.
earth? So Enhanced Games has to invite you, and if they haven't, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. I'm in discussion with them actually about different things, and there's a chance I could be invited for next year's one and even this year's one. But they're just discussing the logistics, I think. Um, but we probably won't compete directly head to head because the lifts are different and there's no strongman rules in the competition because it's not a strongman competition. So if they wanted us to go head to head and like they made the argument of I'm a lot lighter and all of that, they could do that. But Thor would never agree to that. And then it is like they just different lifts. So I would probably be in my own thing, doing my own thing and like probably like my own spectacle by itself type thing.
Well, so the Enhanced Games. Admittedly, I don't know exactly how they're setting this up. Are they doing straight up powerlifting, or are they doing like strongman deadlift?
They're doing strongman deadlift style.
Okay,
Like,
so suit straps, but has to be conventional.
yeah, that's the well, for the strongman side, they pretty much just wanted Thor to come there and set up because he like broke the deadlift record. It obviously got a lot of media. So on their side, that's good. And then they also their like idea is to showcase the limits of what humans are capable of doing. And in Thor's case, he is lifting the most amount of weights compared to any other human. And like, I'm not gonna like say that sumo is on par with conventional. They're very different, and my stance requires a lot more skill. Um, that's why there's more people that have done a 500 sumo than there are that have done a 500 conventional. Um, so they're very different, but it's like I don't know how to even begin to try and figure out who's more impressive. I just post that stuff for media to let people argue on the internet.
Oh, dog. They love it. People get wound up. The thing is, like, okay, I'm posting from a powerlifting account, so maybe it's biased. I know Hafthor is powerlifted, but he's more of a strongman. And the powerlifting community is probably going to rally behind you. But from what I see, overwhelmingly, people say it's more impressive what you're doing. Probably because you're a fraction of his size, no? How many more
Yeah.
kilos does he have on you in body weight?
Almost 80
Which is
kgs.
crazy. Which
Yeah.
is, and you already said in your story, but deadlift suit, double belt. I didn't realize he had well, because they got like the strongman style belt and then the belt over top of it, right?
Yeah, they got like a compression layer. I'm
That's
not
right.
sure how thick it is, and then they got the belt over that layer to add
Mhm.
extra support. Yeah.
So he's got 80 kilos on you, double belted, a deadlift suit, the whole freaking nine,
Yeah.
and he's lifting less, and you're so.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, honestly, I think it's more impressive when you do it. You're 520.
Yeah, if you put it into that perspective with all the advantages he has, then the biggest advantage I have over him is I'm more skilled at deadlifting and sumo, and and like, I'm probably the most skilled at deadlifting and sumo. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's skill or strength or if it's a bit of both because some people's techniques on sumo are much better than mine. Um, yeah, so
I
it's hard
mean,
to say.
it's definitely both, my friend. You
Yeah.
can't. It's definitely both. There's no question
Well,
about
I
that.
mean, I bench and squat a lot more than he does.
Yeah,
So I'm stronger statically than he is, and I overhead press more than him as well. I think I've
which is
done
crazy.
yeah.
All right. So, what is exactly the enhanced games doing here? Is it like the Olympics in that every nation is allowed to put forth somebody, or region is allowed to put forth somebody, or is this invite only, and you're just attacking world records?
I think it's invite only, and it's whoever is capable of pushing the limits of their individual sport, like physical sport. I think it has to be a physical sport,
Hmm.
um, like an individual sport like sprinting, swimming.
Ah, okay,
Um,
okay. So it's like
yeah,
this is almost like an Olympics Sheffield version where they're
yeah,
like, come records will fall. It's all about records. It's not about head to heads. Just go after specific records.
yeah. The goal is to push the limits of the human body and to showcase what the human body is capable of.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So people are chasing history. I mean, I kind of get where Hafthor literally was on Game of Thrones. I mean, that's one of the biggest shows of all time. Like,
yeah,
period, full stop. He's a legitimate star. I got you. And if they brought you in and you're a fraction of his size and you outpull him, it might ruin the party if they're trying to get something going. So do you think there might be hesitation with that?
yeah. There's definitely hesitation with that. That's why they would have to make me completely separate to what he's doing, and probably explain that these are different events, not comparable. But
Hmm.
This guy's deadlifting 515. This guy's deadlifting 530. Like you can do what you want with that information. Blah, blah,
Listen, here's the, like, I
blah.
mean, they could try to smooth the edges on this conversation as much as they want. End of the day, people are going to see a smaller guy deadlift more. And
Yeah.
it's, I could see why they'll be like next year. Let Hafthor have this year. Next, and by the way, they're doing this yearly.
Yeah. For the next, for the next couple years, I can't really disclose too much information on what they're doing, but they're gonna have a couple of events.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big for powerlifting, anyways. It's certainly big for the untested. To your point earlier about untested not having much, so it sounds like so they're doing strongman deadlift. They're not doing powerlifting with squat and bench or anything, though, right?
Not right now. I did discuss that with them for a potential like quick event. Like I had the idea of how much can you total in like one lift after the other, no rest, no nothing. You get
Oh,
to warm
jeez.
up. You get to warm up all three of the lifts, and then you do them all in like a minute, 2 minutes, and what's your total type of vibe?
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. I wanted to do a challenge. I wanted to do a challenge after um my competition now. I wanted to do the challenge for myself for like just a test, and then I was gonna do it, but then I obviously got injured, and I was like, oh, it's risky. I was gonna try and total 1100 in under a minute. Yeah.
that's that's a lot of work done in a minute, my man.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do it after July. I'll like if I don't get injured, then I'll do it after July.
In terms of untested, if the enhanced games gets behind this, this is where untested could start to rally back. This is where you could start having stars because like normal people, the mainstream are going to watch this thing curious. And
Yeah.
if somebody like you comes around or goes head to head with a Hafthor in any capacity or whatever, this is where the untested could start to rally back. You need a premier event, and this would be as premier as it gets, where everybody's watching and people in the mainstream go home and talk about it. This could turn everything.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's very short term to yield a lot of progress, I think. Whereas like the IPF is very consistent, like year to
Yeah, yeah.
year. It's like year to year it's growing. Whereas like this will take 2 years for untested to grow a little bit, and then by the time people get strong enough to enter the games and to be a part of it, then the games is going to be gone. So
Do do you mean in that like do you think the games is going to continue or do you think this is they're only going to run it for a few years?
it's only for a few years from what I can see. It's kind of like unless they do plan to extend it, but the current plans is just for a few years to
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
yeah
If this was if this was something that was for, like the foregone future, and they're just going to run it year after year, and if they
yeah
only did it where they brought in special talents like yourself for a specific record, a John Haack, like just premier,
yeah
then I could see where holy shit there would be an avenue for the untested superstars to show up and like we're bringing this person in to go after this total record, and people see some freaky things happen, and that would help. But
yeah. There's definitely potential for that. It just depends on what they want to do. I don't know the full extent of their plans, but from what I've been discussing with them, it's like a midterm based thing. Yeah.
I guess we'll see. It depends on how much it costs for them to put together, how much revenue they bring in from it, and how
Yeah.
people react and whatever, right?
Yeah. That type of thing. But I'm excited to take the opportunity.
Oh hell yeah.
Um, I'm definitely going to take it and
Oh hell yeah.
push it, and do whatever I can to get into the games for next year. If not this year.
I mean, it'd be absolutely huge for yourself and for powerlifting. Period. If we got a powerlifter in there doing something, let's walk through your day. So first off, you did a bit of a Russ. You dropped the hammer in prep, and you probably pushed a little too far. But on the
Yeah.
day of, so walk us through squats. How were squats feeling? You said you were slightly injured from prep.
Yeah. The whole I arrived there like 8 days, like 7 days before the competition, and I knew my TFL was like messed up, and I was just hoping that it was going to recover before the competition.
Mm.
Because I wasn't going to pull out. I was just gonna if it didn't recover, I was just going to do what I can and probably still break the sleeve or world record. And I was just going to take that as like a small win type of thing. Um, yeah, like the whole week leading up to the competition, I couldn't hit depth and I couldn't squat past like a partial squat without it being a 7 out of 10 on pain. And then if I went all the way down, it was like a 9 out of 10 on
Oh
pain.
God.
Yeah. And then like it dissipated a bit leading up to the competition, and then 2 days the 2 days before the competition I could kind of get down there without it being too uncomfortable, and then the day before I could do a bodyweight squat relatively normally, but not too quickly either.
A
And
body weight
then
squat? That's not
yeah,
encouraging.
yeah,
You were saying it like on the bright side, but that's
yes. I was happy with it. I was happy with it on that day. I was like, yeah, I can squat. I'm ready to squat.
God. So are you just hoping that the adrenaline pushes through the pain? But even if it pushes through the pain, it's got to impact the amount you could lift. Like,
Yeah. I was just gonna deal with whatever pain was there. Obviously I'm not overly risky and I didn't want to injure myself badly. Like this is just a strain. So that was in my head. I didn't want to push past the point because I can just push until my leg snaps off, but then I would have a snap leg. So
right.
that's kind of not the most ideal situation. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
so I was like, let me just push through it as much as is like responsible and do as well as I can. So I was warming up and everything felt okay, like not overly good. Like I tend to be more stiff in the morning because I've just woken up and things are cold.
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
obviously most powerlifting competitions are in the morning, so try to warm up as best as I can. I did my first warm up on squats. It was 170, and then I did 275, and those felt really good. Like it started to get pretty sore after the 275, and then I did a 350 and then a 400, and then I was like, it's sore, and I just couldn't drive. I couldn't get my normal like drive out the squat, and I couldn't maintain stability because my body was like someone would understand this. I'm pretty sure you would understand. When you have an injury, your body tries to protect you by not using that area to
Yeah,
not like make the injury worse.
yeah.
So I was trying to squat and I just couldn't get any like explosiveness or like power out the hole. And I was very unstable because my body was like not functioning very well. So I did my 410 opener. It felt terrible. Like I had I had 50% of my mind was like, I need to stop right here and just not do it. And then
Really?
yeah,
That's
and
gonna be a long
and
day
then
when that's your opener, by the way.
yeah, I was like, God, that would be terrible. I need to do something more. And then my coach Thomas was like, I was already leaning towards doing my second attempt, and then he was like, "Yeah, just do 430. Just build the total a little bit." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do 430, 430." And then I was confident that I would hit it. I was getting myself psyched up, and um, before I was about to go up, like there was another guy that was going to go up, and then I was going to go up. And before the guy that was in front of me was going to go up, the monolith snapped because someone failed. So
What do you mean snapped?
yeah, so someone they failed and they dropped the weight, and then the pin that holds the jack
Yeah.
snapped, and
Holy
then
sh!
the arm that comes out to hold the pin also, I think that one snapped too.
Holy shit, man! Talk about rattling.
Yeah, so I was like getting to my peak focus and peak like hypeness to get ready to lift, and then the monolith snapped, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm just gonna sit down. It took like 10 minutes to get a new monolift in, and I was like, okay, let me relax. I had 5 minutes to get myself ready again. And then everyone had to go and retest their rack heights, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out onto the platform unless I'm going out to lift.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait, and then I'll do it on the platform. And then I went up to the platform on my second attempt, and the rack height looked okay, but we were using a very whippy power bar,
Mm.
and it's normally not that much of a problem. Like, um, yeah, I try to unrack it, and because the power bar flexes as you unrack, um, I barely cleared
Ah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
hooks. I didn't get my back tightness on the unrack, and then I just failed at the bottom of the squat on my second
Damn.
attempt. Yeah. So that was that. And then on my third attempt, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fail again. I'm gonna get the squat. And then yeah, I got the squat.
Did you lower the rack height for the third?
Um, yeah, I think Thomas did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I asked him to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
So you left with 430. You wanted 455, right?
Yeah, I wanted 455.
But have to do that next time around, I guess.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it next time, no matter what.
How much are the round pound milestones to yourself? Like in Canada, we are definitely kind of alongside like in America where we'll use kilos and pounds, but we use pounds. And we like if you ask how tall someone is, they'll say like 6 foot. They don't say centimeters. But in South Africa, do you guys are milestones like pounds make a big difference? Like the 1,000 pound squat?
Um, I'm not really like a through and through South African. I mainly pay attention to what the mainstream thing is of the world. So
Mm,
my country's like way of thinking isn't my way of thinking.
that's fair.
So
That's fair.
so so I see certain poundage goals, and then I see certain kg goals. So my first goals would be 1,000 pound squat, and then it would be a 475 kg middle ground, and then a 500 kg like end goal.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, let's go into the bench press. How was bench feeling on the day?
Bench was probably my most comfortable and confident lift of the prep because it didn't involve my injury. Um, and I hit a really good PB as well. I got 280 in training, which is 20 kgs above my, before the prep, it was 20 kgs above my PB.
Mm.
So I was very confident that I would hit at least a 280. And I think I could have hit it on the day. I hit a 275 and it was pretty easy, but I just played it safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your first 600 pound bench press. So you hit
Yeah,
another milestone.
yeah, pretty happy with that. Um, yeah. Next time I'm definitely gonna get at least a 285 at the competition, yeah. Because I'll make like 5 to 10 kgs progress between now and then I normally hit 5 kgs less than my PBs in training at competition for bench press. And then squats and deadlifts, it's normally 10 kgs more than I did in training.
Why is
Yeah.
that, do you think? Which is kind of interesting.
I have no idea actually. It must be the fatigue from squats on the shoulders and the lats and everything.
Mm.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, you take a hit in bench and then you rally back in deadlifts. The adrenaline
Yeah.
comes back in.
Yeah.
So, how about deadlifts? This is where things get
Um,
interesting.
yeah. I'm always pretty confident with deadlifts. I wasn't having any troubles. With the TFL, like the TFL doesn't hurt that much during deadlifts. It's uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable.
Mm.
So I hit a 410 last warm up, and it was like empty bar, and then I hit my 450,
That's crazy,
like
but keep
a,
going.
and then I hit my 450 opener. Felt like super easy, no problem. And then I tried my first 500 second attempt. I locked it out within like a second and a half, and it was like very easy. And then I just slipped at the top. Yeah.
What do you think happened there? Just like a bobble at the top with a slight unbalance? Was it
No,
Was it
I
quicker
ripped
than you
my
thought, or?
I ripped my thumb skin, the skin on my thumb, and I think it was due to me ripping in training. Like I ripped on a 5:15 attempt that I did in training.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So
the
I think the skin was very thin and it didn't heal or get thick enough for the competition.
hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then you go to the back. So you end up taking a third with straps. And this is the big 520 that got everybody talking. Was this
Yeah.
always the plan to bring straps, or is it because you tore your thumb, you're like, fuck it, I want to use straps? And how does that even conversation have? Do you, because it's an exhibition lift at this point, it can't go towards your total. So you just tell people this is what I want to do. What do you guys think? Or how does this work? How did this
Yeah.
happen?
So it was actually my fourth attempt. I attempted 500 again. I got it halfway up and then I ripped on the same spot that I ripped on my second attempt. So I ripped a layer of skin off and then I ripped the layer of skin that was under that layer of skin off. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So that was actually my fourth attempt. They're just following like a trend at this stage. Like after the competition I did in July last year, I failed 500 at the top, same as I did this year. And then they were like, Kirill came up to me, Kirill Sarichev.
Mm,
Yeah, he came up to me and he was like, do you want to do it with straps? And I was like, yeah, I'll try to do it with straps. And then on that 500 kgs, I normally use figure eights, and they came up to me with like the roll-on straps, like we have to strap it
yeah.
on the bar. And it's like, oh, I haven't used these in years.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna figure it out. And then I did the 500, and this year they were like, yeah, we're gonna do the same thing. And I was like, okay. This was a discussion before the competition. I was like, okay, if I hit 520, then I'll load like a 530 after I hit the 520. Yeah.
So, okay.
And
So
then
ahead of time, you guys agreed you're going to have an exhibition lift at the end,
yeah.
which is tough because it's literally after you've already done a full day of powerlifting.
For me, when I'm doing a powerlifting meet, it's like I have infinite energy.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, apparently, because 520 flew. It's, I mean, everyone, I saw Kirill's video and everybody's going crazy. By the way, how is that competition there? How is it like there? It's in Siberia, right?
Yeah. They set up everything extremely well. The only mishap was the monolith breaking, but
Mm,
the competition is extremely professional. Like I don't think on the untested side there's anything that comes remotely close to what they're doing in Russia for untested powerlifting.
mm,
Like especially the competition in July that they have, it's ridiculous. Like the amount of professionalism that they have, and in the warm up areas, there's like six monoliths. Everyone can have their own space, and then the media that they do and the production that they do, it's just next level.
hmm. So we
Yeah,
don't really get a good view on all that, the rest of the world, so much. When you did it, for sure, we're seeing it. I think like Lily Riley was there. There's a few other like big name lifters there, but we don't see a lot of it there. But the video footage, it looks like a good event.
yeah. It's very good, and the money in it in Russia is very good too. Like the community for powerlifting is like it's next level. They're extremely passionate about powerlifting on that side.
Hmm.
So they can get a lot of people involved. I think in their federation, the um, RPF or something. I think it's that. Um,
Yes.
they got like 20,000 lifters involved in the federation, which is
Really? That's insane.
yeah,
That's like
it's really big.
that's huge. That is peak. That is peak like USAPL when it was an IPF affiliate and was like the monster fed. That's like peak
Yeah,
that. That's in terms of membership. That's a
yeah,
crazy amount of people. See, so powerlifting is still huge in Russia.
yeah. It's massive in Russia. Like it's like twice as big as strongman in Russia.
We
Yeah,
don't see this. like obviously,
Yeah.
so on the IPF side, Russia hasn't been in the world championships for years now. And on the untested side, doesn't have nearly as much attention. And then there's obviously like language barrier, etc. So we don't really see what's going on in Russia. But previous years, Russia and powerlifting hand in hand, like it was a massive sport in Russia. So we were wondering, like, is it is it stagnant? Is it declining? But it's very much alive. It's just, is it
Yeah.
mostly untested or?
It's majority untested, yeah. They
Hmm.
don't I don't think they have any I don't think they have any tested federation.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you're an untested powerlifter, if you want to make some money or if you want to have a chance at like having a career in powerlifting, then Russia is the place to go.
Apparently, apparently. So
Yeah.
after you hit that 520, were you anticipating this much talk and chatter online about the comparisons between you, Hafthor, and all the rest of it?
Um, yeah, I don't have too much interest in it myself because I'm obviously disappointed that I didn't hit 520 without straps.
Mm,
So I'm just like, I just posted the content and I just let people post the video and I was like, yeah, it's there. But I'm not really too invested because it's not something that I originally cared about leading up to the competition because I wanted to do it without straps.
I guarantee you, you hit what Hafthor's done without straps or more, beat Hafthor without straps. No one will give a shit if it's sumo. You say,
Yeah.
hey, look at cool, you did it conventional, but you did it with straps. You did it with deadlift suit. If you do it without straps, that's got to. I think already, you being so much smaller, 80 kilos smaller, it should be enough. But if you do it without straps, that's got to put this conversation to bed. No.
Um, yeah, I think so because that's just like a whole nother skill level. As you can tell, I've ripped on 500 kgs 3 times now, attempting it.
Hmm.
So, and that's not just having weak skin because I've held on to 500 kgs and it ripped in a different spot. So, I think it's mainly positioning and not letting. For me, what I'm thinking is like if you let the bar drag up your legs, then it can put pressure on like different spots of your hand, which can rip. Um, but I'm gonna figure it out in this prep and see what is actually happening and what's going wrong. But
What?
it's hook grip is largely skill based. That's the
Right.
main thing. Yeah,
What are your future goals then? Because you've tinkered with going over the strongman. How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Holy shit, dude, you're a freaking tall guy for powerlifting. That's huge for powerlifting, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people say
I
that.
mean, it's huge.
I've never thought about it. I've never thought about it. So
Like for powerlifting is huge. For the actual power lifts, like you have a big frame to fill out for sure, which is good. So you were tinkering with moving over to strongman, and I'm assuming that's still is that still on the table?
yeah, definitely because there's records to break in strongman that I want to break. So um, yeah, I definitely need to move to strongman after I've broken the powerlifting records.
So what do you think the timeline's going to look like? You
I'm
have,
thinking
yeah.
I'm thinking I have 3 more years, 2 to 3 more years in powerlifting, and then the rest of the years I have, as much as my body would will me, is gonna go to strongman. And I can see myself competing at a high level and being at my peak until I'm like 38, maybe
Mm.
40. So I've got time to do everything that I need to do.
Three, okay, 2 3 years is awesome. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure because some people were saying, "No, he's leaving soon. As soon as he hits a couple records, he's out of here." I'm like, "Shit, that's feels like it's too soon."
yeah,
Like you've
yeah.
been here for a minute, but it's right now that the peak is really happening, and it would suck to lose you this quickly. If you turn around, I'm out of here.
I should have probably specified because everyone jumped on that and everyone's keen for me to go to strongman. I should have specified that I'm not done with powerlifting and that I need to. Because I did say that I'm moving to strongman this year after this competition, but I kind of meant that I'm starting to train some accessories for strongman. Like I'm gonna
Mm,
start. I'm gonna start transitioning with accessories and then still progress in my SPD lifts and kind of use the strongman accessories to aid my SPD. Like, because some of the strongman events are really good for SPD. Like the carrying events, it's great for leg strength. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
use that as an accessory for squats and deadlift.
The one thing you got to be careful, obviously, and you'll probably already know, is strongman. The injury propensity for injury with some of those freaking events is wild.
Yeah,
Like,
you just have to be really careful. Don't be reckless and don't be stupid.
right? I mean, the
Yeah,
thing, like pulling planes, flipping cars, calves, biceps. It's those calves. It's the muscles like calves and biceps and stuff like that that
yeah,
are that usually get torn first.
yeah. That is the biggest problem with strongman events, I think.
Hmm.
And I think you just have to take it slow, and you just have to learn how to not overload the small muscle groups, and that's why I'm going to take it slow, and I'm going to start transitioning now while I'm still aiming to break the powerlifting records. I'm going to slowly transition, get used to the technique, try and figure out how to do those events without overloading the small muscles and do it as efficiently as I can. And then obviously I'll get stronger at those events. And then like over the years, I'll get stronger and stronger. And then when I'm ready to fully transition, I'll have a baseline of technique and then a solid foundation of strength from powerlifting. And then I'll translate that strength with the technique I've learned of the lifts into strongman and then still learn more technique in strongman once I'm done with powerlifting. Yeah.
The biggest, like you'll hit the ground running. One of the biggest situations when doing strongman is like it's not like squat, bench, deadlift. There's so much technical work, and some of these implements you have to do are so awkward and difficult to master. So for you to be like, look, I'm not trying to go super heavy. Let me master these, get really strong SBD, and master some of the implements I have to use. Yeah, 100%. It's going to be way
Yeah.
easier. But you have guys like Mitch Hooper, who real quick became number one in the world and like
Yeah.
multiple times in a row. So there's some people do take to it very fast. Some people do learn them very quickly. And also Mitch isn't huge either, is he?
No, he's around the same height as me. I think he's maybe 2 or 3 centimeters taller than me. Yeah.
So it gives
Yeah,
reason.
I think he's 6'3", and then I'm 6'2".
So you guys are right close. And body weight wise, he's not huge like that either.
I think he's sitting at 150 to 160.
And
Yeah.
where are you sitting at?
I'm at 125 right now.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
You got some work to do.
Yeah,
Some work.
I'm gonna eat a lot.
What is the plan there? If you are you going to start growing while still powerlifting and try to push like that? Because it will help
Yeah.
your squat if you're going to do 500.
Yeah, that's what I would have to do. So probably when I am ready to squat that 500, I'll weigh very close to 150.
And how many do you track your calories?
Um, yeah, I do sometimes. Like I did in the prep, and then I fell off because I was getting too heavy. I weighed I weighed 130 twice in the prep, and I was 128 to 129 for a couple weeks, and then I was like, I might struggle to cut weight to hit the dots, and then I went back to 126, 127. Yeah.
So dots matter to you then? You like are you looking
Um,
at dots goals?
just for fun, yeah, because it is a limit, but it's like after this competition, I realized that no one really cares about dots anymore, and
Playboy, I'm
it's like
telling you.
it's like a system of the past. So
Playboy, I am telling you, with what you have on the table in terms of like kilos and these like your squat, the bench, the deadlift, the total, nobody's gonna stop and be like, "What was his dots, by the way?" Guys like you don't worry about dots. Guys half your size gotta worry about dots. You know what I mean?
yeah, but it was just a limit that I wanted to break, and then I'm over it now. I'm just gonna put it to bed. And it's
Yeah,
not a strength. It's not really a strength limit. It's like a sports limit to win a sport. So it's not really a human potential limit unless you're a small guy.
and
Yeah.
that's really what really dots is to compare people pound for pound against each other. But when you're the super heavyweight, like you're obviously they're bigger guys than you, but when you're chasing the super heavyweight records, none of that matters anymore. Who asked
Yeah,
Jesus? Who asked Jesus Oliveira what his dots were? Do you think Jesus even knows? I bet he doesn't even know.
yeah,
He's like,
probably
I
not.
don't.
I don't think he
Yeah,
cares.
exactly. He's like, I don't freaking know. But fair enough.
But Sheffield has moved completely away from that, anyways.
Yeah, Sheffield is straight up records, which you would appreciate because you're a records guy. Sheffield is
Yeah,
straight up. How much can you break the world record by? That's why
yeah,
it's kind of the same as like an enhanced game style, obviously. Uh, not exact same, but just in terms of take a look at the record, and everybody's going to try to extend that record and make history. And then what makes it
yeah,
interesting, sometimes you'll have three people in the same weight class going against each other if possible.
yeah. It's a smart design. Like it's a smart model because you basically have like everyone competing against each other, and there's like 10 weight classes. I don't know how many weight classes there are, but there's like a whole bunch of weight classes, and everyone could have a chance of winning, and they're in different weight classes, and then it also brings the attention to the records for the public, and it's easier to understand. So
100%. And
it's very
dots, like
it's very smart.
formulas change over the years. You could get like dots didn't exist back when I first came around. It was Wilks. Then we have good lift points in the IPF. You got dots and untested. You got like there's so many different formulas. In 20 years, are we gonna have more formulas? Probably. But world records, that's it. Like when you
Yeah,
go back in time, now if people say that tournament 5 years ago was based off of Wilks, I bet you there's people now who'd be like, what the fuck is Wilks? What is that? It's like, oh, it was a calculation we
yeah,
used to use. But
yeah,
if you go back in time and say that tournament was based off of world records, say less. I got you. From
yeah.
here
They
on out
understand straight
forever.
away.
Yeah. That's really what people got to lean into sometimes is that. Um, but yeah, so how big, in terms of you getting big, how many calories do you think you're going to have to eat?
I was comfortably eating five calories, like 5,500, when I got to 130. And when I was stable at 128, 129. And I would have gotten probably to 130, 132, if I had stuck with that throughout the whole prep, probably 133 as well.
Mm.
So probably for this competition in July, I'm gonna, I'm not gonna cut weight or anything. I'm just gonna most likely weigh in at like 134. I can see myself getting to that.
Because
Yeah.
you know those strongmen. I see. I don't even know what's fact or fiction, but you hear about 10,000 a day calories. Now this isn't the
Yeah.
healthiest thing in the world to do, but you hear stories like Eddie Hall being like, I have to, because Eddie Hall is only an inch taller than you as well.
Yeah. He's 6'3" too.
Yeah, and they force feed like 10,000 calories to get the size they think they need. Are you going to be going all out like that? You think at some
Um,
point?
um, I don't think it would be necessary. Mainly due to the fact that all the strongmen are sitting at between like 350 and then 375 pounds. So, because they're trying to be more athletic and the sport's becoming more athletic and you have to move quicker. And because like the people that are dominating in strongman now, they strong, not as strong as Thor, Brian, and Eddie were, but they a lot faster.
Mm.
Yeah. So I would probably be, if I got up to that weight, with my overhead press being what it is now, it's already on par with like top three world's strongest man. Like I can do a 180 for two strict press, not even like a push press. So if I got up to like 350 pounds, then I would be statically the strongest, and then I would just need to be quick. So I don't know how heavy I can get without sacrificing my explosiveness and speed. So I'm gonna figure that out when the time comes.
Yeah, because you might not need to now that we walk through this a little bit. First off, how freaking crazy is it that you're so much smaller and so much stronger and your single lift static strength usually you would think is the biggest guy in the room, but
Yeah,
it would be you, which is crazy.
it's. I think I'm just more efficient than like a lot of people. They don't put enough credit onto efficiency. Like I heavily focus on technique. Like technique is my main thing with with all my lifts, and I feel like if you don't focus on efficiency with training and with lifting, then you're gonna leak energy somewhere, or you're gonna lose like force production in some sort of way, and obviously that's gonna make you lift less. So
Mm.
that needs to be the main focus, like efficiency with lifting, no wasted energy, no wasted force production. The force is going exactly where it needs to go. Um, I think that's the only reason I can overhead press more is because I don't like I don't move a lot. Like I see a lot of people when they overhead press, they go all the way back and then like they're pushing up but they're going down and it doesn't really make sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you took you, hooked you up to a machine, took Hafthor, hooked him up to a machine, and the machine is testing overall power output that your body can generate, who do you think's body generates more power?
Hmm. Interesting.
I
In
know.
terms of like static strength,
Just in terms of, that's a good follow up question to my baloney just fake machine. What does this machine, let's say, just, because I'm thinking just straight up power output, your ability to move mass. So
yeah.
static, I would say static
So
strength.
I have a lot less of a like foundational structure to move mass. Like I have less to work with and he does like a lot less, like 80 kgs less, like 70
Mm-hmm.
kgs less. So I have to probably produce a lot more force in order to use what I have to work with better than he has to work with, if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, even though you are 80 kilos smaller, your body generates more power?
I think it would have to if I'm stronger than him statically because otherwise nothing else would make sense. Like why am I stronger than him statically?
And the only, I agree with you, first off. The only
Yeah.
way is if you were saying, I'm just so much more efficient. I think he nudges me on the static, but I'm just that much more efficient. But even then, due to
Yeah.
being 80 kilos, like I think you have to be stronger.
But then efficiency also translates to power production, like in terms of reading power production, because nothing's leaking, it's all going where it needs to go.
That's why this machine doesn't account for leaks. It just tests your overall max.
Yeah,
It's interesting. I
that's
wonder, but
interesting.
having said all that, yeah, you if you go into strongman and you stay light, if you are physically statically stronger than the big men and you're smaller so you're quicker and can last longer, what
Yeah.
are we talking about here?
I don't know how heavy I would actually have to get. I think I'll judge it according to the times. Like if I can break the records at a lighter body weight, then obviously I'm going to do that because getting heavier would be unnecessary.
Hmm.
So if I can weigh 140 and get the log press world record, then I'm going to do that. So
Are
yeah,
you is your plan to be the world's strongest man? Like the
yeah,
tournament?
yeah. I want to win World Strongest Man.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
fucking crazy. Because
in a couple years' time.
you'll you're already decimating, like you're gonna decimate all the powerlifting records for sure. And then strongman. Dude, that's why, like, if you're talking all the powerlifting records and then strongman, you're not going to give a shit about dots.
Yeah,
If we're being
like
honest.
it was kind of just like a side project. Like I was pretty close to what was needed, and like I was pretty close in body weight to what was needed to break the highest dots. Like that's including females and everything.
Mm.
So I was gonna just do it to like add it as another stat type of
Yeah,
thing.
fair enough. I mean, fair,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. You need motivation to keep this thing going. But when you look now at someone like John Hack and Dots, does that even at all cross your mind as competitive, or are you telling yourself, I'm past it, I'm looking towards
Yeah.
totals, kilos, strongest in the world?
Maybe for a very short period, I was like, oh, dots are cool. I want to have the highest dots. Like, not cool, I wouldn't say they're cool, but I saw it as like a limit that
Mm.
I wanted to have. And then I got the highest dots in untested powerlifting. And like it's not really something that people cared about. So I was like, I'm not really gonna pay much interest to it. after that. And then this competition, I was like, I'm right there to have the highest starts. Let me just do it because I can do it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, pound for pound is fun, but when you're taught, like, obviously you see online the traction you got in terms of comparison to Hafthor. You see online the traction you get when you're going to push and have the biggest total period in powerlifting. And then if you're going to be the world's strongest man, you want to talk head to head. That's really going to be the one that defines your career. If you become the world's strongest man and have the biggest total, that's it'll eclipse. And I'm a powerlifting guy, but I got to be freaking honest, right?
Yeah. Like strongman's a lot more mainstream. That's the main reason.
Right.
Like, and people have a very poor conception of like what it means to be the world's strongest man. Like when they see the title world's strongest man, they're like, oh, they're the strongest in existence. But then you'll get a powerlifter who is statically way stronger than them.
Mhm.
And powerlifting is absolute strength, and strongman is more strength with athleticism. So it doesn't really make you the strongest. It makes you like the most athletically strongest, but not absolutely the strongest.
But you have an opportunity to unify those titles.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it unless I something happens, but my focus is to do it.
Fair enough. What got you into powerlifting? How did you find all this strength sports stuff?
Um, yeah, mainly my probably like I needed an outlet for all the energy I had, and then I started the gym. I started training in the gym when I was 16, just doing like biceps and triceps and chest, and didn't train
Yeah.
anything else. And then that's why my bench press was super strong. Like when I was 18, I had a 210 kg bench press,
Oh shit.
and my squat at the time was like 260. So it was very like out of proportion
Hmm.
for the lifts. And then my phone's on 2%. I should have charged my phone.
Oh, you got to grab a cord. You could grab one if you need.
I'm gonna get one now.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. You know what? I'm gonna do a quick pee break then.
Okay.
Perfect. That's right. Yeah. What got you into powerlifting?
I just needed an outlet for training, like I said, for my energy, like I said, and started off with basic stuff like chest and triceps and biceps. Just wanted to, like, I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to get rid of the energy I had. And um, I actually transitioned to CrossFit. Like, I started with the basic chest and triceps and just training upper body. And then I started training squats a little bit, squats and deadlifts. Um, and then I found a CrossFit gym and I was like, let me try this. And I got fully into CrossFit for a solid 2 years.
Oh, no
Um,
kidding.
from, yeah, from 16 to 18, because I just enjoyed like at that time, and even now today, I enjoy like when I'm doing my 8 rep sets, I enjoy like not being able to breathe and just suffering after a set. It's like a nice feeling for me. And CrossFit gave me that outlet, which was pretty nice. And then I just became like so strong at the Olympic lifts and squats and deadlifts, and I was like, I'm obviously more talented at lifting weights than I am at being quick and doing like the jump rope and burpees and pull-ups and butterflies and muscle ups.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
That
I
sounds
just
exhausting, by the way.
it was very fun. It's a very fun sport. Um, and then I was like, so anything I do in life, I need to do to the limits. So I was like, I'm gonna win the games one day, and then I like had some family issues at the time, and I moved from Stellenbosch to like Stellenbosch is a city in my country, and I moved to a different city and came to stay with some other family, and then there wasn't really a good CrossFit box here, so I ended up just focusing on the Olympic lifts, and then from the Olympic lifts, I started focusing on bench press and squat and deadlift, and then slowly squat and deadlift became more important, and I like did my first powerlifting competition here in the city, and in my at my first powerlifting competition, I was still natural. I broke all the national records for my age and weight class. Just like it was just my first one, and I was like,
Mm.
I got the national records. They were small. It's like because powerlifting's underdeveloped here. Um, I hit a 260 squat, a 170 bench, and a 270 deadlift, conventional deadlift.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh, this is fun. Like the attention that I got from it is what drew me into it. Um, because what people were like, oh, you're so strong and you should carry on doing it. And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I will. And then I carried on. And yeah, from there, the rest is like kind of history. I just got stronger, figured out different motivations for why I want to compete and train. It's not to have an outlet anymore. It's not to get attention. It's like just to reach the limits.
What, when you first started, like, were you saying, I'm going to be a world champion? I'm going to be like, what flipped the switch to be like, I want to be the strongest man that ever lived? I want to, like, when did it start becoming that? And when did you think, holy shit, this is reality? Because everyone, when they first
Yeah,
start, thinks, I'm going to be a world champ. Very few people
yeah.
end up in your position. Well, no one's ever ended up in your position.
I never thought about being the strongest, not until it was a possibility. Probably after my 1120 at 110 kgs, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this further. I'm gonna break the all-time world record in reps. And
Hmm.
then after the rep record, the 1200, I was like, yeah, I can take this a step further. I'm gonna do sleeves and I'm gonna break the deadlift record, all-time world record, for sumo. And then yeah, it's just opened my eyes to what actually matters and to me, what actually matters to me, and it's breaking all the all-time world records.
And
Yeah.
you've been well on your way. What does your friends and family think now that all this is happening?
My family is a little bit obsessed with the fact that I'm doing it because I was a problem child. I had like anger problems and I was disrespectful and no one could control me. I ended up living with my gran and she managed to control me a little bit in a nice way. Like
Your grandma?
she, yeah, she knew how to work with
Really?
me
Like, of all people, your grandma's the one who could control you? Why is that, you think?
because she's very sweet.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay, she could guilt you
yeah,
into it?
yeah, majority of the time, yeah.
No shit. Why do you think so why was it as a kid do you feel like you were getting into trouble?
Um, I don't think I understood the social norms of like how everyone operated. So I think I had a different perspective. Like my parents tried to teach me, they didn't teach me very well, I think, which was the main problem. Or they didn't know how to teach me in the conventional sense. Like I was just very disrespectful to all the teachers. I treated them like adults and I didn't see them as authority figures. And I never saw anyone as authority figures. And that was the trouble I had in school. I just was disrespectful, didn't listen to the teachers, didn't see a reason to listen to the teachers. They
Mm.
told me to listen to the teachers, but I was like, why am I listening to the teachers? I didn't understand the concept. And then I had the same idea with my parents, my step parents, and I didn't understand why there was this like thing of someone telling you what to do and like I understand it now, like a little bit more. Like I still struggle with it. I don't like being told what to do and I like to do my own thing.
Mm.
But I think it's just who I am, I suppose. And I'm constantly working on it. Like right now I can be told what to do, but then I see it as cooperation. Like I'm doing what you want me to do for the sake of benefiting our situation type of vibe.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent like that is what life is just like meeting in the middle for a mutual ground of
Yeah.
collaborative cooperation. I know what you mean in terms of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, it took me until the age of probably 20 years old to learn how to do that. So I just had lots of issues with that. And then I think that's the main thing. And then I had like anger problems where I don't know why. There was no specific reason. Like there was no reason why I should have had the problems, but I wanted to be. like in school, I'd always get into fights. Like I wanted to test the other kids, and with the male figures in my life, I wanted to fight them
Holy
to
shit,
like,
really?
yeah.
With the other males? What
Well,
are you
not
like?
like,
You were an alpha male your whole life, is what you're saying.
well, I didn't see it that way, but that's just how I was. Like, I wanted to challenge what was in front of me, and I did it in like a, I did it in a very raw way, which made people not like me or the people that I was doing it to. Whereas actually, I think what I was trying to do was to strive for what was the perceivable limits and to overcome them at the time because I didn't want to be lesser than another creature that exists if I had to think about it like that. Yeah.
So then, do you think finding weightlifting gave you an outlet where you could do exactly what you just said, pursue limits and etc. without having to be in confrontations, without having to be chest to chest with somebody? Now you have
Yeah.
like a positive way of expanding on that, of exploring that.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think I was just born to be a competitor, born to strive for the limits. That's just what I enjoy doing. I can't think of doing anything else. And that's like what I was like as a kid. So I guess I was just born this way. I need to strive for the highest limits of what I'm doing. And like of like there's like different limits you can reach. There's like emotional maturity and like mental limits, and then there's physical limits. But for me the main one was definitely like competitive like physical limits. That was like the main one that I was interested in growing up and now. Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself doing like an Eddie Hall and even a Hafthor and entering some of these combat sports at some point down the road after you've achieved some of your strength sport goals?
Yeah. Um if it's an opportunity, I'll take it because I did kickboxing while I was doing CrossFit for those 2 years as well. I did them together and I enjoyed it a lot. I was getting into it, and if I had stuck with if I had like it's tough to say because I don't know if the environment or the circumstances would have allowed me to become extremely competitive at it, but I don't know if I would have naturally forced it to happen either.
Mm.
Because it's hard to say, but I think I would have stuck with kickboxing or CrossFit if my conditions hadn't like moved me towards chasing the limits of absolute strength. I might have stayed in that, and then, but then I also might have like because I was already caught onto I was already caught on to chasing the highest limits of strength in CrossFit
Mm.
because you get fighting ability, you get fighting skill, but it's not really a limit. It's like it's just competitive. Whereas like strength, there's an upper limit. It's like a mountain to climb. You're gonna climb to the top of the mountain, and that's gonna be the peak of strength right there. So
Yeah, there's no numerical value to like some of these other sports like kickboxing or any there's whereas with the strength sports, there's a straight up numerical value right there. A full on
yeah,
number to beat. And it's not
it is
opinion or
like
nothing.
yeah. There's no political value to it. It's just it's there. It is what it is. It's
Mm-hmm.
the limit. It's like the limit's there. It's like plain and clear to see. No
Mm-hmm.
one's going to tell you like, ah, this guy is actually the limit or that guy is actually the limit. It's just there. It's its own thing,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is it's nice. It's nice to have it like that.
Yeah, there's definitely something there in terms of having goals and targets that are that easy. Plus, obviously you pursued the strength sports, you became the strongest man that ever lived. So I mean, unless you became the Muhammad Ali of kickboxing, you chose the right path because
Yeah,
you become the strongest man that ever lived. It'd be a shame if you didn't go this pathway. And if everything works out like you want it to, I mean, you've already hit the record in terms of powerlifting. If you continue to pursue and push that, move into strongman. If you ever decide to dabble into one of the combat sports, immediate money and paydays. We've already seen it. You
Yeah.
you cut right to the front, so you can have both this way.
Yeah, that's true. And then fighting is political based anyways, so it makes no difference whether you start as a strongman or you start as someone that's done it for 10 years. So
No, I
it's
mean,
it's
you.
purely political. And you can build a political image with strongman and then go into fighting and it's the same thing. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you look at some of these promotions, the checks are way bigger, way bigger, and the
Yeah.
notoriety and amount of eyeballs watching. It'd be, dude, you might have a storybook life, huh? When all this is done, if you do everything you want to do, you could have a freaking movie, man.
Yeah, the most important thing is to be patient and to be smart about not getting injured. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right about like patience as well. You can't do it all like it'd be a shame to move on. For instance, from powerlifting, I know you're saying you're not, but it'd be a shame if you did too early and didn't fully see how much you could do in powerlifting before you flipped up strongman. And then it'd be a
Yeah.
shame to not fully see what you could do in strongman before you flip into if it's one of the combat sports and the big offer comes. The only way I would say do it is if somebody like a Jake Paul is like, fuck, I'll give you 10 mil if you want to fight on this thing. It'd be like, do it,
Yeah.
my man. Take that money.
Yeah, that's crazy. Money's not really a big motivating factor for me. Um, as long as I have enough to set up a basic, like, comfortable lifestyle and stable lifestyle, then that's good enough. And then I'll take that as a stable foundation to chase the dreams that I have. Yeah.
Is like what when you're 65 years old, looking back, what do you want to have accomplished?
Um, I don't know if I'm gonna live to 65, so
Really? Why do you
no
say
one, no
that?
one, no one, no one can really say if they're gonna even live another day. So,
Well, this is a fact. This is a fact.
so
Do you
the
feel
future's
like
not.
are you the type to burn the candle on both ends and you're like, man, I'm not going to live that long. I'm here for a short time, not a long time, or a good time, not a long time.
I just don't have any thought process about it. Like I'll live as long as I'm gonna live, and then I'm going to stay on a path of striving for the highest limits of strength. And if I fall off the path and leave before reach the end of the path, then so be it. As long as I'm fully devoted to the path, that's the most important thing to me.
Like this is, are you essentially saying your goals and convictions towards those goals are so strong? It is come hell or high water, you're going all in, and like that's
Yeah,
all. Okay,
it's just you have to be smart about it. You can't like go like fully like burn out in the first year
Mhm.
and then you cook yourself for the rest of your career. You have to have some level of balance. Otherwise, you're just gonna destroy yourself and end up not seeing your potential anyways. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Is there anything that in powerlifting that you wish you had done, or are you is everything going as you would hope?
I wish I stayed natural.
Really? Is that right?
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a lot. Well, I don't know. I think I'm surprised, but here's the thing. I've had a lot of people in the untested say exactly that. Almost everybody says I wish I'd stayed natty. On the flip side, though, what you're doing is insane, and you could only do it if you
Like,
were on gear.
yeah. With strongman, also strongman's not tested. And I feel like sometimes I wish I would have stayed natural purely for powerlifting, but then because there is an untested side, it's always going to corrupt and mess with the limits of like tested powerlifting. So even if I wish I could be natural, I would probably never be natural because if I was natural, I wouldn't reach the highest limits. But in a perfect world, I wish everyone was natural. I wish steroids
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
exist. Yeah.
I got you.
I wish PEDs was just not a thing. Yeah.
Is it because why do you wish? Is it because the dangers it does to your body long term, or why is it that you wish you had stayed natural?
I feel like because it can be seen as like it can be easily used as a crutch. Like I don't use it as a crutch, but I feel like it's very easy to fall into that even unknowingly. Like you can take neurological stimulants and they can boost your performance on the day. And like how much of that strength is really your strength that you are outputting. So it kind of just blurs the line of how strong you are compared to how strong your your tools are that are helping you. Yeah.
Like you were talking about wraps, essentially.
Yeah.
Like
So,
yeah,
so similar thing to that, yeah.
yeah, it's like an extra tool. I got you. The thing is, you would cheat because you are so in pursuit of these limits. Unfortunately, because other people have already used them ahead of you, like you said, you got to be on the same playing field if you're going to do those limits, especially
Yeah.
like strongman.
So people have set all these limits, so I need to have all the tools at my disposal to break these limits too.
It's already done. Like you said, if you could presto, psh, they never existed. Okay, but that's
Yeah.
not the world we're living in. But
Yeah.
especially with if you're gonna do like the biggest old time untested and strongman, yeah, you gotta be. But you're like a freaking superhero comic book guy who's literally walking the earth. Like it's unfathomable to be able to do this fully natural. I mean, it's incredible. Is there anything more that you want to do outside of the regular? Like, have you ever thought about doing like a Hafthor, doing movies, doing shows, doing and walking that pathway?
Um, Maybe once I'm retired, but definitely not during my career because I feel like it would take too much energy away from what I'm wanting to do and what's actually important to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because honestly, man, the sky's the freaking limit if you start nailing down what you want to nail down. And doing a head to head with John Hack would be cool, but doing a head to head with Hafthor will have guys like fucking Joe Rogan talking about you. Like
Yeah.
there is because they know who
Yeah.
Hafthor is. You know, the
Yeah.
difference in leveling up. And look, like John Hack's phenomenal. Like obviously, I'm a powerlifting guy, so I could appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I think you've noticed in the last few months being a rival of Hafthor, and when Hafthor reposts you and asks his followers, who do you think did it better? And he's posting you, you have people who are mainstream, like the biggest of the big, who now know who you are. It seems pretty obvious the pathway to take and the doors that might open if you do this. If you can lure Hafthor into a head to head somehow.
I think by the time I think because obviously I do want the conventional world record as well because it's an all-time world record. So naturally, I want to strive for it. By the time I'm capable of lifting like a 530, 520 conventional deadlift, I think he'll be fully retired and there's going to be no shot of us competing head to head.
Gotta
Yeah.
figure something out. Gotta somehow use sumo with no straps versus him conventional with straps. But that'll make him look
Yeah.
shitty, so I don't think he'll agree to it. But he
I
did
think the
repost.
only I think the only workaround would be we do both. Like he uses the sumo with straps, no deadlift suit, with the strongman deadlift, and I do the same thing, and then we put that as like a joint total together.
Were you surprised he reposted you, and were you surprised he's actually leaning into this a little bit, giving you this kind of attention?
Um, Not really too surprised because he's kind of needing to protect his narrative politically because some people are going to say like, oh, there's a guy that weighs 80 kgs less than you and he deadlifted more than you. Like, what? That doesn't mean that your record's impressive anymore. Like that means your record's not impressive anymore. So he's
I,
kind of like trying to protect the narrative that it's different and his record is still like the best record.
because he could have went the route of ignoring you and hope, and because he has so many eyeballs on him, the amount
Yeah.
of people on his social media, he he might have gone the route, just pretend it didn't happen. Powerlifting's somewhat niche. Don't give focus to it. But the fact he did bring it up, repost you, and is like, "What's stronger," etc. He's actually creating the discussion, which I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised as well, but not overly surprised. I was probably not surprised because I don't think I cared about it to begin with. Like the 520 with straps, it's just an expedition lift because I wanted to do it without straps, like I said. But um, yeah, it's cool that he posted it though.
I
And
think the fact that he did it all, give attention to it, means there's some possibilities in the future anyways. He's brought up the conversation of comparing you two. So you got to think, why are you doing that if you're not entertaining it at least a little bit in your mind?
Yeah. The only way that we could ever go head to head is, I think, is if we use that total method, or somehow agree to like me competing against him without straps, or I get strong enough to compete against him in his own style. Yeah.
If you guys do a straight up total, that'd be amazing. I don't know who's going to be able to afford Hafthor. The big thing is he's going to probably try to avoid it because it doesn't look good if he gets beat by a guy 80 kilos smaller than him. But I'm telling you, oh, buddy, would that be amazing? Or if freaking Enhanced Games could figure something out. If an Enhanced Games...
They said I'm in for next year, so I don't know what plans they actually have.
Let's go.
I'm 100% sure that Thor would want to do it next year too. But then I've also heard rumors. I can't remember who told me that he's doing one more deadlift after this deadlift in May, end of this year, and then he's done, and then he's not competing again. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You got to try to clap him before he leaves. We got to figure this out. You got to do it for powerlifting.
Do it for powerlifting. I'll try to figure it out.
we got a limited time, but if we can lure him into one clash where you just show up and do an exhibition, I don't know. We'll figure.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
If you ever have the opportunity, yeah. If you're in the same spot and be like, let's load it up, kid. Let's load it up. Me versus you. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, it would be crazy. I could trick him and be like, I'll do it conventional, and then just pull up to the competition and do it similar.
That's right. Be like, fuck your convention. Yeah, exactly. I said what I had to get you on the platform. Now it's time for me to show you up.
All I'll do is just change my stance.
Exactly. What are they going to do? They'll have to give you the down command. That's it.
Yeah.
Who cares if they DQ you?
I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble probably.
Whatever. Everybody would go crazy if you did that and showed them up.
Yeah.
Shit, maybe I got to edit this out of the podcast. Nah, fuck it. But sounds good.
Maybe you should, because I might do that.
That's right. We'll figure it out. Well, listen, man, thank you for coming on the podcast. Much appreciated. Definitely 100% want to have you back, especially after you do what you're going to do in the future. When is the next time you're competing, by the way, before we let you go?
In July again. I think it's the 11th of July, yeah.
Dude, that's a pretty quick turnaround, no?
I'm pretty much going to maintain a solid foundation of strength from this last prep, because I didn't get too burnt out or fatigued from this prep, actually. I just got that small injury, which I'm going to rehab now in this next month, and then go into a quick strength peak type thing.
And what do you think? What do you think is the targets for this one? 1,200 or not?
The total would definitely be 1,200 plus, and then the main thing is the 1,000-pound squat and the 500 kg deadlift. Yeah.
Okay. No straps in comp. That's freaking absolutely huge.
Yeah. Maybe normally it's third time's a charm, but hopefully it's fourth time's a charm this time.
It's going to happen sooner or later. How about that? Yeah. It's going to happen sooner or later. All right. Well, listen, man, much appreciate you coming on. Good luck with prep. I hope you get all healthy and you nail those goals down. And absolutely would love to have you back, man. And keep us in tuned. Hopefully by then, too, we'll have a little more clarity on, perhaps Enhanced Games and what the future might be looking like that direction as well.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be cool. Thanks for having me.
Dog, I appreciate you. And for everybody listening, as per usual, please do subscribe, give us high ratings, and until next time, 6-pack Lapadat, 6 up, and we are out.